mucho grandes, muy grandes.
Hello, mijo? Are you there? What are you doing? Are you being good? Javier? Are you there? Javier.
No, no quiero decirlo. No, no estaba viendo una mujer que tenía unos melones así grandes. Eso es todo, pero...
What is up, my RAMILIA fans of the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams? Hope everybody's having a great Monday. Thank you for joining me at Monday Nitro RAMILIA. We have some more news. So, we have more injuries. It was found out or announced today that the GOAT, Aaron Donald, has a high ankle sprain and is probably going to be out for the next few weeks. High ankle sprains are weird. Sometimes they take longer. McVay is considering shutting him down for the season along with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. For myself, this is just more horrible news. This guy's been so durable. We're already at the cusp of 9-8 record. I said we could probably get in playoffs if we go 9-8 to end the season, but we have no room for error. We have to run the table and still need help. I would probably just go ahead and shut him down for the year, along with Stafford and Kupp. But this is unprecedented. This is something your top stars are all out, and there's still a lot of games left. So that is what it is. Also, we find out that Lance McCutcheon, he got targeted a couple times, didn't really make any difference. I don't understand why we didn't throw the ball deep to him. He's a tall guy, 6'3" guy. We're again doing the Robert Woods type thing where we're throwing little outs to this big guy. Don't understand what we're doing. He's a tall guy. Use him almost like a tight end hybrid. Get him down the field in open space. Let him run over some people. Let him go over people. But he's got a shoulder injury, so he's going to be out. And hopefully, also too, we got to see Bryce Perkins. I'm ready to see more of him. Hopefully, he'll be able to start again. He did some good things. He made a couple of young, inexperienced quarterback mistakes, but he was the reason why we were able to have move the chains and have a running game. And Kyren Williams as well had some flashes as well. And then, like we said before, Allen Robinson is out for the season. And so, it is what it is. No one's going to feel sorry for us. That's okay. So we're just going to keep playing. We're going to see what the young guys have to offer. The Tutu Atwells, Bryce Perkins, Darian Kendrick, Kobe Durant, Quentin Lake still maybe will be able to get on the field. He's been injured all year. Kyren Williams, we're ready to see what they got. Wade Bowen says the LA Rams needs a strong offensive line to protect Matthew Stafford and provide holes for the running backs, plus a strong power, legitimate fullback for the rushing yardage and goal line scoring. That's exactly right. I really believe in the offseason we're going to retool our offensive line. We're going to get a few veterans, but remember, our starting guys have not been there for consecutive weeks. We have in all these games that we have right now. Right now we're 3-8. In 11 games, we have 11 different offensive line lineups. So, but we're gonna retool the line with the veteran linemen, and so that will be solved. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with Allen Robinson, and hopefully Van Jefferson could take the next step. There was one play where there was a sidelines play. He didn't get his foot down. Why didn't you get your foot down? Bryce Perkins was really cooking. He was getting acclimated, running around. It was a heck of a throw on the run. And it looked like Van Jefferson got his feet down and he didn't get it down. For a young quarterback, you got to make those plays anyway, because we expect Van Jefferson to do great things. But that was not a high difficulty catch. It was a difficult catch. and put your feet in, but he could have did it. He just didn't get his feet placed in. Maybe that has something to do with him not playing a lot, coming off the injury a few weeks ago. But you got to make a play for your quarterback on that one. Ramsdaddy says, "What's up, my dude? What's up, brother? Thank you for coming in." Cesar, what's up? Saludos, my brother. Hello, Ramilia. What's up, bro? Thank you for coming in. Willie Davis. Hello, Rudy. Thank you for coming in. Willie Davis. What did I just say? Willie Davis. Sorry, Willie Bowen. I was talking to somebody else and they had that last name. My mind is not the Rams. The Rams have me going. I'm sorry, but thank you, Willie Bowen, my guy, my OG Ram fan as well, like me. But with that, saying my name, like Beetlejuice. Thank you, Willie Bowen. Appreciate you so much. Rams Dottie says, y'all want to know something? The Rams won the Super Bowl in 1999, day I was born. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That is awesome, man. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, that makes me feel even older. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome, man. There you go. It was meant to be. Caesar says, shut down the starters, in my opinion. Let's get healthy and get some free agents. That's exactly right. We gotta the Kobe Durant's, the Kyron Williams, the Lance McClutchins. He's going to be out now with a shoulder injury, possibly. He's day to day. Tutu Atwell. Figure out what we're going to do with him. Let's get exciting game plan going and do some things that maybe we wouldn't have with our regular players in there. And let's just make it exciting the rest of the way and figure out who we're going to keep, on the depth chart and who's going to start for next year. We have some tough decisions with like the A'Shawn Robinsons, the Gray Gaines, guys like that. Are we going to trade Ramsey? Are we not going to trade Ramsey? Are we going to keep Ramsey? Who knows? We got a second, I believe it's a fourth round, 2 6 rounds, draft picks. I think there's a fifth in there. I can't remember right now, but we're going to get a compensatory picks in the fourth round as well for losing our free agents in the offseason. We'll see what happens with that. There's my guy, Gil. What's up, brother? He says, hey, Rudy, sup? Rams are dropping back 50 yards and punting on first down. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing a lot of times this year. It's just a weird season. Rudy. Thank you for coming in, Gil. I'm glad to see you back in here, brother. Hope everything's going good with you. Props to you. Willie Bone says Brandon Powell should get his first reception touchdown, hopefully before the regular season ends. I'm with that. And he's going to get more shots in there. I really like Brandon Powell in there on the offense. Ramsani says, I was born 1999, my God. That's amazing. That's amazing that you were born in that year. Kristen Ayala says, at least you got draft picks. Oh, wait. No, we have draft picks. That's always it's funny because what would you rather have? A collection of draft picks or the Super Bowl championship? We got both. We have coming off the Super Bowl championship, and we have draft picks. We have a second round. I believe it's a fourth round, 2 6 rounds. We have some fourth rounds coming in for compensatory picks. But when you're loaded like the Rams are, you don't collect a lot of draft picks. But thank you, Christian, for saying that. Rams Dynasty says, my Thea and Cards family are clowning me because we have a losing. Yeah, that's right. That they're Arizona Cardinals. Well, they can, but they have the same record as us, so there shouldn't be no clowning because at least we had the Super Bowl last year. That's funny. Chewy Romo says, Rudy, ¿qué onda? I say, get rid of Ramsey. He ain't all that. Yeah, I remember saying that. It's been a tough year, man. I really love Ramsey. But if we can, we need to make the team better. We need to make the team better. And if there's maybe a team is trying to get over the hump this year. I don't know if you're able. I know the trade deadline's over, so it'd have to be next year. So in the offseason, maybe we can get some draft picks because we have a young secondary, and not that you replace a Jalen Ramsey, but just because the way we're using him, a lot of times he's out of position. It seems like it's kind of weird this year. But yes, yeah, we're going to be definitely looking in how we can improve our team, if not by multiple guys, with draft picks. Because we're thinking about the future when Stafford and Donald hangs it up. So we'll see what happens with that. Willie Bone says, I pray that the LA Rams draft players from USC and UCLA and next year's draft. I wish they could get my guy Caleb Williams. I wish we could get him. But with that, let's see. Let's get into the videos here. I got my guy Sean McVay talking about our run game with Bryce Perkins in there running around. We actually have a semblance of some run game, so that's pretty good. Let's get right into that.
You guys ran for over 100 yards again this week. Can you talk about how as a coach, how gratifying is that for you to be able to run the ball the way you guys been able to run the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think I think New Orleans was a definite right step in the, definitely a good step in the right direction. I think a lot of yesterday's yards was attributed to Bryce being able to create a little bit off schedule on pass plays that weren't necessarily runs, and I think that's a credit to him. But there were definitely some things that, we can definitely take some positives away from, but not quite to the extent of what the New Orleans game was.
So there you go. So we Kyren Williams is showing some flashes. Cam Akers actually played made a couple of good runs, made some good reads. One of them was down the sidelines where he was going down the middle, then he cut out and got out to the outside. That's not a bad backfield. I don't understand why we got rid of Henderson because he was signed through this year. He was in a contract year. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens now with the young guys. And then if you guys remember, yesterday I showed this, but this is again, I'm glad he's okay. That's the only reason why I'm smiling and laughing about it. But this is in a nutshell our season, and he's going to talk about this, our guy Sean McVay. But if you remember this,
get these Rams going. Sean, look out! Oh my goodness, that really hurts. Rams have the football. We come back.
My poor guy Sean McVay. He's he's Ram tough though. He shook it off and but sometimes you got to pay your dues, and that's a due paid. You get that ring like that, and then you get shot in the face. And he talked about it on the Rams DeMarco Farr show, the Rams show here. I can't remember what the name of it is, but here we go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome.
The Coach McVay show. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Coach McVay Show, presented by Microsoft Surface. I'm JB, along with my friend and colleague DeMarco Farr, and the head coach of your Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay.
Ow. Sorry.
Go ahead and clarify.
We're not going to let you get through this show without talking about you getting hit.
Tough jaw, man. That's not the hardest hit I've taken this year. So it's Roger didn't mean to do it. I think the slow-mo made it look a lot worse. But I got a tough chin, I guess you could say, right?
Did you tell him immediately it was okay? Because I bet he's thinking, I hit the coach, I'm going to get cut.
No, you know what? I don't think he even realized. He was late to get on the field. So there was no stopping and turning around and asking if I'm okay. I don't think until after the game he realized how.
So he was able to laugh about it. We've gotten to know Sean McVay. He's a class act. One of the things that I love about Sean McVay, besides the enthusiasm, he loves his players, the players love him, is he falls on the sword. It's my fault. I didn't get guys in the right position to be successful. Things like that. And we think it's tough for us. This guy is a winner. All the way back to his grandfather who passed away, may he rest in peace, John McVay with the 49ers in the heyday of the Niners 80s dynasty. He's used to winning. He helped the Washington Redskins when they was there, and just he came to Los Angeles, changed the culture, and automatically won winning records, division championships, 2 NFC championships, and a Super Bowl. Youngest coach in NFL history to get one. This is killing him. This season is something that that he was not expecting, and it's hard for us, but imagine being the coach of the team that does that. So he's going to get things right. I know it's something that hasn't had to go through before, thank God, and we haven't had to with Sean McVay. So it is what it is. I mean, unprecedented. Besides the offensive line injuries, like I said before, Van Jefferson was out the first 6 games. Allen Robinson was slow to get incorporated into the offense. They couldn't figure out how to use him right. The different type of receiver. Then we have Kyren Williams, not Kyren Williams, excuse me, Cam Akers with the weird stuff about playing time and getting in the doghouse because he missed the block and Stafford got flattened. And then Cooper Kupp goes out with a an injury to his ankle, and then Matthew Stafford concussion protocol, and then now Aaron Donald is out, Allen Robinson is out again, is out now. So it's unprecedented that you have the starting quarterback, the number 1 receiver, the number 2 receiver, the number 3 receiver, or 2A, 2B, and 2A, Allen Robinson and Van Jefferson was out for 6 games. Van Jefferson, and then the left tackle retires in Whitworth, and then his backup gets hurt. His backup gets hurt. The third string guy that we slid over gets hurt, out for the year. It's unprecedented, and that's why we are where we are. So we just need to retool and see what happens. It's amazing. It's amazing what's happened this year. Kyler Ricky says Rams need a new coach. Now we love our coach Sean McVay. Kyler Ricky says he learned from the best. He learned from the best. No, that's a misinterpretation. I see like the Jason Apontes and the who else? Rob Shue, really good content creators. He didn't learn from Kyle Shanahan. He was hired by Kyle Shanahan to do a job. They work together, but just like Kyle Shanahan's father was in the NFL a long time, Sean McVay grew up around his grandfather, John McVay. He used to be with the Niners in the 80s in the heyday because he was the GM of the Niners. Sean McVay was hired by John Gruden too. So he took from Gruden, he took from Kyle Shanahan. But also too, it wasn't Kyle Shanahan. They're good buddies and they're great coaches in all respect, but Kyle Shanahan just barely reached 500 as a head coach. With this last win, they squeaked out 13-0 versus the Saints. The juggernaut Saints offense. But yeah, they were able to score 13 points and win. It was a heck of a defensive scheme, but Kyle Shanahan just barely reached in his 6th year as head coach a 500 record. So no. But they're good coaches in each one. But yeah, he took from Gruden, he took from John McVay, his father, took from Bill Walsh because he was around the team as a kid. Though, he's just a great guy. He's got a photo. What is that called? When you can remember things like that. A photographic memory. Amazing guy. But yeah, so Kyrie Williams has been one of the new guys, young guys in our lineup, showing some flashes of what he did in college, so that he's able to make it to the next level. And here he is talking about the game. And this guy is just a breath of fresh air. I can't wait to see more of him with Bryce Perkins and the guys the rest of the way. We'll see what happens with that, but here we go.
I feel like I'm just each week I keep getting better. I keep letting the game come to me, not doing too much. I just feel like coming into next week I got to be more decisive and be more of a playmaker. There's definitely yards I left out there on the field today that I got to go back and watch and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But just being consistent and being who I am each and every week and each and every day coming to practice is who I try to be.
So Kyren Williams, I really love this kid. He's going to be really good for us. Another draft pick that we got. I really like. He's got such a great attitude too. Steven Jackson talked to him and was telling what to expect as a pro, and we have really high hopes for Kyren Williams. We'll see what happens with Cam Akers. Maybe things will get better with him, but he's actually playing hard. He's still playing good, and we'll see what happens with that. And so the next game we have is the Seahawks. And so the Seahawks have their own problems. And I'm trying to look right here to see what the odds are. And I was just kind of interested in what the opening odds are for that game. And point spread. So the Seahawks, as of yesterday, Seahawks are favored by 4.5 over the Rams. So we'll see what happens. I think we can beat the Seahawks, but right now it's kind of weird the way things are. I think with Bryce Perkins coming back, if he was able to start this week again with another game under his belt, one game under his belt, his first game starting, but more experience under his belt. Now he's going to come into a second start if they're able to do that. They haven't announced anything really yet, but McVay was giving him props on how he ran the team, and he looked pretty good for his first outing. So we'll see what happens with that. Very interested to see what's going to happen in the NFC West. The NFC West is so down. The NFC period. Unfortunately, we're down and just about out. But it's just a weird year this year. The Bucks, the Packers, the Bucks, the Packers, and the Rams are teams with down records, and then you have the Dolphins, the Jets, the Giants, all doing really good this year. And it's weird. The Lions are playing good. Props to Jared Goff. Amazing year. It's just this year is just something else. It's something else. The Denver Broncos got Russell Wilson to help them get over the top. They were everyone's all in. The Bills are all in. The Broncos are all in, getting Russell Wilson, hoping they can do like Matthew Stafford and coming in and leading them to a Super Bowl. The 49ers went all in with CMC and they gave away all the draft picks next year's draft to stop him from coming to Los Angeles. And he's still not even doing anything because again, him and Debo are both on the same team, and they don't have that good. The guys they already have already, Elijah Mitchell and all those guys are the running backs they have already in house are playing better than the big name guys. So amazing year. Everybody wants what the Rams did. But let me show you the standings here, just to show you illustrate what I'm talking about. So here's the AFC East. The Dolphins 8-3, the mighty Bills 8-3, the mighty Jets 7-4. Look who's in last place. Bill Belichick's Patriots. Okay, so there's one. Now, AFC North, the Ravens took it on the chin this last game. The Bengals are right there. They kind of righted themselves. They're right in the top. And then, these two teams are down. And then we have the AFC South, Tennessee. And then look at these other three teams. Imagine being in that division. If we were in this division, we'd have a shot still. But the Titans 7-4. Okay, so then you have the Chiefs. The Chiefs, to me, look like the team that's going to win the Super Bowl this year if they stay healthy. The Bills were looking good early, and they kind of fallen off a little bit. But whenever you have an offense like that, and you have Von Miller and the guys, I haven't seen any updates about Von Miller's injury. If you guys know anything, let me know about that. I was going to look at that before I got on, and I didn't get a chance to see it. Let me see if it shows anything right now. How do you have I put Von Miller and it shows from 3 days ago. There's no updates. Let's see. Okay, so here it says Von Miller did not tear ACL, which is good. I'm glad he didn't tear an ACL, but let's see. Von Miller, but his return is unknown. So most likely he's going to miss a few games. So at least he didn't tear his ACL. Good. Okay, so then we left off here. The AFC West. Here's a division that I thought was going to be a barn burner. Besides the Chiefs, the Chargers are starting to come on. They're still in position for a wild card. The Raiders are the team that struggled, and then here's the Broncos. These two teams struggled horribly this year. At least the Raiders got another W. They're at 4-7, but amazing. I thought this team was going to be the best division this year. And then the NFC East, here's another surprise. The Eagles, 10-1. The Cowboys are starting to come on at 8-3. And then look at these teams, the 7-4, 7-5, the Commanders, and the Giants. What the heck? Remember, it was the NFC least, the worst division in football, one of the worst divisions. And there they are. Then you have the North. And I said in the beginning of the year that the Vikings were my dark horse. And look at 9-2. Amazing. Look at the Lions, 4-7 in second place. But look at the Packers. This is what I'm illustrating. The Packers are 4-8. And what's amazing is you don't hear the stuff like they give Matthew Stafford. Is it Matthew Stafford or is it the Lions? Well, what about Aaron Rodgers hasn't done nothing in 10 years? The guy wins MVPs in the regular season because he purposely doesn't take chances and doesn't throw a lot of picks. He just lets his team lose. But they'll win because they're in a weak division. And in the playoffs, he turns into Jimmy Garoppolo or Jared Goff, and he hasn't done anything in 10 years. Here he is struggling. Oh, it's because Devontae Adams is there. Well, how come they don't make excuses for Matthew Stafford? It's amazing that some guys just get a free pass. I don't hear Aaron Rodgers saying like, "Oh, is this guy done? Is he done?" They're 4-8. They haven't done anything in a long time. They lost at home to Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, and they didn't even score an offensive touchdown. Why is there no pressure on the diva Aaron Rodgers? I don't understand that. Matthew Stafford he wins the Super Bowl, and there's still people on his back because of this year, and we're all beat up. Amazing how people get a free pass, right? But they don't get it by me. I say exactly what I feel and exactly how I just keep it real. And to me, he's a great quarterback, but he gets a lot of free passes. And then the Bears, unfortunately, they're in their usual spot. Got a young quarterback, and 3-9, lost some tough losses. NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 5-6. Look at these two teams are on the top of the division. Wow. So this is why I thought we had a chance at 9-8 if we can get righted the ship a little bit, put some victories away, that we would get the wild card from here in the NFC West. But no, we're in the dooms. We're not used to being here with Sean McVay. We're down here in the basement. And then you have the Seahawks in second place to the Niners. The Niners are at 7-4. And so props to them, 7-4. And look at this. Most of their wins are in the NFC West because the NFC West is weak. So as much as the Niners content creators and fans, they're in first place, no arguments, but they puff their chest out. Oh, this and that. They have a great defense, but look, most of their wins are from most of their wins most of their wins are at home. On the road, they're 3-3. Guess what? The Super Bowl is not going to be at Levi Stadium. It's going to be away. But we'll see what happens. That's still a long way to go. I don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't believe in Geno Smith. So I don't think any of these two teams are going to have anything to do with the Super Bowl this year. But although we are not either, but I don't think anybody in this division is going to have anything to do with the Super Bowl this year. So then we just retool next year and we win it next year and get them mad at us again. But it's okay. So that's, I just wanted to illustrate what I was talking about. It's a weird year. We'll see what happens. Calarica says Rams, Anita. Oh, already got that. Let's see. Calarica says 49ers have the best defense in the league. They shut out the Saints. That was a heck of a defensive battle. 49ers are going to smash the Dolphins. What if I think the Dolphins have a chance. Mike McDaniels is a great head coach, and props to Kyle Shanahan on this respect, that he really, his coaching tree, they're pretty good. he knows how to hire coaches. Robert Saleh, that's one thing that I'm going to give him is Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniels. Those are quality coaches, and they're doing very good in their own right. I like to kid him because he's with the Niners, like Kyle Shanahan, but he's a very quality coach. I just really think that he's more formidable he's more dangerous as an offensive coordinator than a head coach. That's my opinion. But you got to tip your hat to him when it comes to hiring those coaches. Calarica says 49ers are going to smash the Dolphins this weekend. That's gonna be great. I already got that one. GBP 117. Thanks for the easy wins, bud. You're welcome, man. Thank you for the NFC Championship game, though. I'll take that one over that. Thank you, bud. Calarica says 49ers defense is the best. They are pretty good, man. You can't say anything about it. When you can line up a Bosa, you got those linebackers with Ward and Alshire, and then you got Jimmy Ward. I can't stand Jimmy Ward. He kind of reminds me of a Patrick Beverly with the Lakers. If he's not on your team, you hate him, but he's a ball hawk. I like that he is very aggressive. And then you got Travarius Ward, and there's some great pieces, and you got the guys, the guys in the defensive line too. Some of them keep getting hurt, but they're very formidable. I mean, if you can shut out an NFL team, I don't care who it is, that's a good defense. And then also too, the offense have struggled, which is, imagine if the offense didn't struggle, man, you guys would be crazy. But that's what I think is the Achilles heel of the Niners is Jimmy Garoppolo and that offense. He's got his limitations, and we'll see what happens. There's a long way to go. All these teams, like if the Chiefs get an injury, the Bills get an injury, the Niners get some of their guys back. If the CMC gets hot, and they're still kind of learning how to use him. So I know how that works. When we had OBJ and Von Miller at first, we didn't look, they didn't look like they were making that much of a difference. So it takes some time to get acclimated to your surrounding. It takes time for your teammates to get used to you. You're kind of like looking over your shoulder, like trying to try too hard. So I understand how that works, But yeah, I really appreciate what they did with getting CMC. I would have probably got OBJ just to piss the Rams off, but also because you take him away from the other teams that can get him, like the Cowboys or somebody else. If it was me, I'm a guy that likes to go for the throat. I would have got OBJ, even though the Niners don't need him because they run more. They didn't really need CMC, in my opinion, because they had all those running backs that were going to come back from injury, and they have Debo, but Debo's not the Debo from last year. But I would have got OBJ just to piss the Rams off, but also take him away from the Rams, and also take him away from the Bills or whoever, Kansas City. That's what I would have did, if it was me. Just like last year, I said, if I was the Niners, I would have signed Stafford. I would have not moved up. I would have picked whoever comes to me, probably Mac Jones, to sit behind Stafford. I would have drafted Kyle Pitts, and then trade maybe Kittle for a first round pick and get some of those picks, just because he gets hurt a lot, and he's, and Kyle Pitts would take his place. But we'll see what happens. It's a weird season. It's crazy stuff has happened. Steve-O says, but you guys needed a running back at the time, and we knew Stafford had an injury. You know what? If we got CMC, it would have put a Band-Aid on it would have put a Band-Aid on like a neck gash, a wide open neck gash, because CMC is a gamer. He would have helped the run game, but the offensive line is just such in shambles. By the time he gets the ball, there's guys grabbing at him. I wanted Robert Quinn, and then if we could put some W's together, go after OBJ again. And it wouldn't be just for this year, right? Keep the focus like this. If we would have got Robert Quinn, now we have somebody who can replace Von Miller on that side, along with Wagner, along with Floyd, who was coming off an injury. We didn't have a lot of sacks because we had Floyd and we had Gray Gaines hurt, and they weren't up to their full, pass rush optimism, if that's a word. They weren't fully ready to go after the quarterback. So, but our defense was still decent. So we would have Robert Quinn to replace Von Miller. If we could have put some W's on the board, then get OBJ for the stretch run, and we'll be ready to go, baby. But all these injuries, Cooper Kupp went out now, and the best plans didn't work, and then nobody wanted to trade with us. They're like, hey, we're not gonna, look at the Panthers. Wish they would have traded with us now, because their fan base was like, why didn't you do it for Brian Burns? And I'm glad that they didn't. We have those draft picks now, but because as it turns out, we got Cooper Kupp's hurt, Stafford's out, now Allen Robinson's out, Ashawn Robinson's out for the season. So I'm glad. Thank you, Panthers. Thank you for not giving us Brian Burns. So we have those draft picks now. So God bless you, Panthers. So the fan base is like, why didn't you do it, you stupids? So thank you, right? So, but what I was saying is, I wanted Robert Quinn, not just for this year. So the next year we have him within the roster with a full preseason, and let's do it again. No matter what happened this year, even if say we went out in the first round or whatever happened, they're signed, they're with the club. Now we come back next year and we have them again, right? That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Not just this year, because we already have the chip. We have a little, some breathing room. We had a horrible season this year, but before that, I was hoping that we could put some W's on the board, get a Robert Quinn or a Burns to get that side, and then we already have Wagner, and then get some, be close to the division wild card or division, leader, and then we get OBJ and see what we have this year, but then also bring him in for next year with the full preseason, and we go at it again. That was my thought process, but it didn't work out. So it is what it is. We used up all of our magic last year, I guess, for this year, but it's fine. It happens. That was a big thing that we were able to get the chip in year one. That's the key. That's the key right there. So now we have another year that we can go all in again with Donald, and we'll see what happens. Danny Berry says, Rams suck, yo. Yes, indeed. They do right now. Danny Berry says, go Lakers. Yes, indeed. The Lakers have been playing great. David McNew says, horns down, Brian Burns would have been a good acquisition, young and talented. Yeah, I wanted him, but on the other hand, I'm glad that we didn't get him because we still have those draft picks, and we got a lot of retooling. We got to get some veteran O-line help. We got to figure out if we're going to get another pass rusher. And the way the injuries have happened, imagine we got Brian Burns, and then Cooper Kupp's out. And we got Brian Burns there, yeah, but then Stafford's out. And we got Brian Burns, but now Ashawn Robinson's out. We got Brian Burns, but Allen Robinson's out. Like, so we tried. You're like, we have 5 fingers, and this one got torn off. That one got torn off. This one's torn off. Here we go. But it is what it is. Win, lose, or draw, or tie. I'm still a Rams fan. I'm just glad that we got the chip in year one with McVay and Stafford. And so, it's just amazing. I'm like, all right, Way. That's enough already. That's enough already. We understand. And the NFL team players get hurt, but that's enough already. But it is what it is. Dennis, what's up, brother? He says, diehard Rams fan. That's good, bro. Thank you for popping in, my brother. Hope you subscribed and hit the like and come in more often. It's going to be an interesting off season. We're still playing, but it's going to be interesting the rest of the season as well, because we get to see the young guys, the Tutu Atwells, the Bryce Perkins, in a way that we wouldn't be able to before. They would only get playing time in the preseason. Now we get to see real game reps like this last game. Bryce Perkins had some heck of a plays against a good caliber playoff Super Bowl contending team, and he needs those. So we do a silver lining. We do a flip script on what we're trying to do now because of what the record is and because of the way we're injured. So at least we make it work for what we're trying to do now for next year. We'll see what happens. Thank you for coming in, Dennis. Steve-O says, you need a helmet for McVay. Yeah, man. I saw that and I just laughed. I just went like this. That's the season in a nutshell. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm glad he's okay. So that's why I keep playing this. But boy, this is our season in a nutshell. Run it back, and then you see this.
Get these Rams going. Sean, look out! Oh my goodness, that really hurts. Rams have the football. We come back.
Oh boy, but then here he is talking about it real quick. I already showed this, but he's in good spirits. I love this coach, man. This guy's been an amazing coach.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Coach McVay Show, presented by Microsoft Surface. I'm JB, along with my friend and colleague DeMarco Farr, and the head coach of your Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay.
Ow. Sorry.
Go ahead and clarify.
You know we're not going to let you get through this show without talking about you getting hit.
Tough jaw, man. That's not the hardest hit I've taken this year. So it's Roger didn't mean to do it. I think the slow-mo made it look a lot worse. But I got a tough chin, I guess you could say, right?
Did you tell him immediately it was okay? Because I bet he's thinking, I hit the coach, I'm going to get cut.
No, you know what? I don't think he even realized. He was late to get on the field. So there was no stopping and turning around and asking if I'm okay. I don't think.
So he's a good sport about it. But like he said, that's our season so far. But like I said, it's worth it because just the journey that we've got through with the Jeff Fisher years and Sean McVay coming in and Jared Goff looking like a monster up until the 2018 season, and then he's not the quarterback for us. Getting Matthew Stafford and the excitement that we felt, getting a OBJ, getting a Von Miller, the excitement that we felt, the ups and downs of last year, the championship game against the Niners, winning the Super Bowl down and then winning with all the injuries. It is what it is, right? The NFL is something else, and I'm just so glad in year one that we were able to get the chip. And so, not that it makes it easier that we're losing this year, but it makes me like, whew, puts things in perspective. We got the chip last year, so yeah. McVay, I love this coach though, man. I love this coach. He's such a great guy, and when he leaves, which is probably going to be in a few years, next couple of years, because he's got a new wife and a long career ahead of him. He's getting money thrown at him with Amazon, wanting him to be an announcer and stuff like that. I just can't say enough about this guy. Hopefully we can win another Super Bowl next year and let him ride off to the sunset if that's what he wants to do. We'll see what happens. Jim Foster says, "What's up, Rudy?" And with that, all right. He says, "What's up, Rudy? This has been the season from hell. As long as Winers keep their 28-year dry spell alive, I'll be happy till next year." Yeah, man. The one thing that I can say is this. Because we won the Super Bowl, even if they were to win a championship next year and it'd be their sixth one, God bless them, it wouldn't be so bad. I'd hate it, but it wouldn't be so bad because we already got ours. Now that we have theirs, that puts more pressure on them because we won the last two Super Bowls. We have two Super Bowls, we have two NFL championships before the merger. But we're the team in the NFC that has won two Super Bowls in the free agency era. No other team has done that. We've won the last two between the 49ers and Rams. The Rams have won the last two Super Bowls. So, it's amazing. Yeah, we don't have 5 or 6, but we have two Super Bowls, two NFL championships before the merger, before there was a Super Bowl, but two Super Bowls, the last two. That's what I love. Not just one, another one since the free agency era has been fully going. Silly fun guy. The Dirty Winers will probably choke in the playoffs like always, but still talk shit. Yeah, that's one thing, the fan base. There was a guy today. I always like to, I usually have my Rams gear on. And I look and I go, because you're seeing a lot of 49er gear now. After the NFC Championship game, they kind of put it away. Because like I said, I'm a key holder at Disneyland. And so we go all the time. And so as the playoffs were going and they were going to play us in the championship, you'd see a lot of guys with Niner hats, and a lot of them look like young guys. And, we're going to take you guys down, whatever, our house, whatever they're saying. And then we took them down, and slowly I stopped seeing Niner stuff. Niner fans walking around. And now here they go again. They're everywhere. They're in Mexico City. They're going all kinds of stuff. And by the way, the Niners go to watch a game in Mexico City. I got to do a video about that. The Niner fans are going all the way to Mexico City to watch them play the Cardinals. The Rams just came off of a Super Bowl trophy tour in Mexico City. So there's the difference. The Ram fans in Mexico are celebrating a championship, and the 49er fans are just going for a Thursday night game? Or was it a Monday night game? But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But we have the chip, and so we can breathe a little easier, even if they were to win. But I don't see it happening. I think this is the Chiefs' year. Brian B says next season we will win it all. This season was a disaster. Yeah, I really believe that too, that we have a chance because the NFC, I showed earlier, the NFC stand. Let me just show you guys again. The NFC, because you guys just came in, let me just show you what I was talking about. The NFC is so wide open. So NFC, right? The Eagles, they're 10-1, but nobody. Then they don't scare me. If we had our guys, Stafford, decent O-line, average O-line, Cup, Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, we could beat them. Same thing with the Cowboys. This division doesn't scare me. This division doesn't scare me. The Packers have been our Achilles heel because we played in one time in the playoffs where Aaron Donald was hurt, but they're down. But the Vikings, they don't really scare me either. They're 9-2, but when we have our full complement of guys, we can beat them. South has gone in the toilet. For sure, the Bucks don't scare the Ram fans. For sure, nobody here scares us. This is the only team that gives us a hard time, but in the big game, we take them. So the NFC is going to be available, and probably Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be around, our Achilles heel, with the Niners. And then Trey Lance comes in, and we got an advantage over that. Stafford versus Trey Lance. So that's why I'm saying next year we retool the offensive line, we get our guys back, and guess what? We could be back in the Super Bowl. Let's let Kansas City scratch that itch. Or the Bills, let them scratch that itch and win the Super Bowl, and now let them have a Super Bowl hangover, and then we're hungry again. We're hungry again, and guess what? We're able to do something like this again.
His dad got him up early to practice. It just shows you what you can do when you commit to something, when you invest in yourself, when you believe in yourself, Kyle.
And he wanted this so badly, and it's so great to see him up there shirtless.
I don't be surprised. Mark my words, that we can be right back in the Super Bowl groove again next year, because the NFC is wide open. We will see, but that's way ahead of ourselves. But we will see. We will see. We will see. Let's see. Jim Foster says, Rudy, how can you tolerate Niners sickness? He's an annoyance. I appreciate Niners sickness. He goes back and forth. It's just all in good fun. That's my guy, Niners sickness. Jeff Foster says, will you regroup next year? Rams will regroup next year and run it back. We would just take this year off. Yeah, unfortunately, we has to work out that way. But like I showed right now, there's no reason why we can't retool and come back next year, because we have these Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, another year under his belt. Van Jefferson will be back healthy the beginning of the year. Lance McCutcheon and Tutu are going to be getting more reps in game time situations. Colby Durant, Darian Kendrick, hopefully Quentin Lake can get some reps in the secondary. It's going to be really amazing year next year. I hate to even talk about that because the year's still going on, but you know what I mean. Jim Fox is embarrassing how the pathetic Bucks are probably going to make the playoffs. Brady always gets to play in the weakest division. Yeah, we had him too. We had him. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you. Not much to talk about. We were talking about the injury situation where Aaron Donald is probably going to be shut down for the rest of the year. He's got a high ankle strain, and oops, wrong pick. He's got a high ankle strain, and he's probably going to be shut down for the year. Allen Robinson is shut down for the year. Brian Allen, our center, might be back. Lance McCutcheon is going to be out for a few weeks, or he's day-to-day, actually, rather. So we'll see what happens with him. And so we just take it on the chin and just keep coming back. We'll see what happens with this next game against the Seahawks. We'll get back on there and see what happens. And but we'll see what happens. And Jim Foster, you're crazy. I went in Rumble and I called him, but he keeps cutting me off because, well, he's not cutting me off, but cutting me short, because I appreciate that they're in first place, but is that what the bar is, being in first place? We're in first place. Well, congratulations. We're Los Angeles Ram fans. We're used to being in first place, at least in the McVay era. Props. That's not the goal, though. And it's not even we're halfway through the season, so a little more than halfway through the season. So, but yeah, that's okay. And I gave congratulations to Kyle Shanahan. Getting to 500 in his sixth year as head coach. So props on that. Great defense they had against the Seahawks. So we'll see what happens with that. Jim Fosh we're going to trade Ramsey for some high picks. That's what I was talking about earlier, Jim. I think that we may trade Ramsey. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do with this roster, because you don't really replace a Jalen Ramsey, a prime Jalen Ramsey, but we have young bucks in there. And if we can make the team as a whole better, we can do it. Jeff Foster says, you would think their goal would be Super Bowl after 3 decades. Yep, that's exactly right. That's why we keep going all in. We almost got 2. If we would have had Stafford, we wouldn't have got the way things worked out. We probably wouldn't be able to get Stafford in 2018. But if we wanted to, because golf looked good in the beginning of 2018, but if Stafford was on the roster in 2018, we beat the Bucs easily. It was 3-3 in the fourth quarter. Stafford would have put some points on there. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming in. I hope everybody has a great Monday. If any news comes on the podcast, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably be back on Wednesday. Hope everyone has a great Monday night. And as we always say, may the RAMILIA be with you. And Ramulators, mount up.
Saturday, the wind blowing, hot from the north.